held me like my brother, would I see myself in you? Well, I dreamed my end was near. I was almost gone. If I dream that dream from here, can I still come home? If you called me, would I hear you? Do I know what I would do? If you held me like my love, would I see myself in you? If you held me like my mother, would I see myself in you?
Good morning and welcome to Unity Church of the Hill Country in Kerrville, Texas. This is Reverend Beverly Pryor, and I'm the minister here at Unity of the Hill Country. And let's just take a moment in prayer and get centered in. Together, let's take a deep breath in and slowly release. With that breath, we just drop into this present moment. We join our hearts in gratitude for this opportunity to be together online, on Zoom, on Facebook, for those of you who may watch later, recorded version. We're just grateful that we've been able to stay connected in this way through all these changing and challenging times. We open our hearts, we connect. We know truth is beyond appearances. And in this moment, we claim the absolute good, the highest and best for everyone concerned. And we say, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. The opening statement that we share every single week at Unity of the Hill Country is there is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. That's our first of the 5 unity principles that we live by. Our virtual opportunities to connect right now are, of course, Sunday morning, and also Patsy Sherman is hosting Lost Christianities, Christian Scriptures, and Battles Over Authentication on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock. She'll be sharing a video of one of the great courses by this name, and then a discussion follow. It's really an interesting class and a gathering, an opportunity to connect and also to stimulate your brain, your thought processes, and your intellect. Recordings of all of our Sunday sessions, Metaphysical Mondays, Wednesday Wisdom, and Tuesday Tenderness. We're not recording Lost Christianities because that is proprietary video, but all of the other ones are available for you, and you can watch them at your leisure. So today we have special music with Glenn Rothell, and I'll give you a little bit more of an introduction about Glenn as he will be singing before the meditation and after the talk, but he is joining us from the backstage at Empower Music and Arts Posse Awards, where he is the head of the house band. He's the director and the guitarist. and he is a published award-winning songwriter and posse artist, nominated for multiple awards, where he is also a lead late night dance parties and sing-alongs, and but most fans just mostly love him for his songs, his original music, his wonderful voice. We heard him a little bit this morning in rehearsal, and the excitement that he brings to any performance. And I'll give you a little bit more about Glenn right before he shares his music with us. In this moment, let's take a moment and come together in prayer. Unity was founded on prayer, and Silent Unity has been praying for people, with people, and about people and the world for over 135 years. They're located at Unity Village in Missouri. You can go online and submit a prayer request. You can call it in, or you can go on our website and submit it there. We pray over it here locally, and then we send it up to Silent Unity, and they pray over your prayer request for 30 days. Prayer is powerful. That's why the Unity movement even began, because Myrtle and Charles Fillmore had amazing healing experiences through using prayer meditation. So you see our prayer box on the screen here. If you haven't had an opportunity to submit something online, or calling the office, or calling Silent Unity, just do that now from your heart, and we'll include it in our affirmative prayer. So let's close our eyes together and take a deep breath in and release. We're focusing now our intention, our consciousness, our knowing, and our understanding of divine law on these prayer requests in this moment, knowing that there's no degree of prayer, there's none too simple or none too complex for that power, that love, that absolute good of the universe that we know as God. Your prayer may be for relationship or well-being, for health, for wealth. It doesn't matter. All prayers are important, and all prayers get the same resounding yes, yes, yes. It's the consciousness from which we pray, knowing and claiming, as Jesus, our way shower, taught us, claiming in this moment, it is done. And completing our prayer with gratitude and thanksgiving, simply by saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. The mission and vision statement of Unity of the Hill Country is to live consciously, celebrating the divine potential in all. Our daily word today is joy, and I believe our daily word reader is Patsy.
Yes.
Yay! So let me stop sharing so we can see your awesome face, Patsy, and go ahead and read the daily word for us.
Okay. There I am. I'm in my car. Today's word is joy. Joy is my constant companion. I discover reasons to feel joyful every day, even in the most challenging circumstances. I begin by centering my awareness on the Christ, the divine presence within. I feel love and peace lift my heart, and possibilities for good fill my thoughts. I am joyous. I may experience joy as exuberance, delight, and wonder. Joy may also come quietly as the peaceful assurance of God's presence wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. My awareness of joy brings a glow to even the most ordinary day. As I enlarge wholeheartedly in all that is mine to do today, I share my joy with everyone. Through kind words, a sunny smile, and a warm welcome to everyone I meet, I radiate joy and bless the world with my positivity, happiness, and bliss. From Psalms 118, verse 24, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Again, today's daily word is joy.
Thank you, Patsy. That was amazing. We've been talking about joy for a month now, so that worked out just perfectly. So again, I want to just mention that our special guest is Glenn Rothell, and Glenn describes his own work in this way.
There you go.
I strive to uplift this movement and humanity with everything I create and infuse it with energy, love, and joy. So I am so excited to present to you for the first time at Unity of the Hill Country's virtual gathering, Glenn Rothell.
Thank you, Rev. Good morning, friends at Unity Church of the Hill Country. So nice to connect with you this way. And I don't know if you tuned in early enough, but you probably heard a beautiful song by my friend Tom Kimmel, See Myself in You, which is just a most magnificent song. But I know that you'll be going into meditation soon, so I'm going to play you something that's gentle and that might lead you into that. This is called Cool Shade. I wanna feel your cool, cool shade coming down over me. Won't you take me to a place of tranquility? Carry me on down the way like a boat on the sea. Won't you row me to your shore so gently? God, and even as I close my eyes, waiting for sweet release, I feel so safe knowing you are holding me. God, I wanna feel your cool, cool shade.
That was beautiful and perfect for taking us into meditation, Glenn. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So if you will, wherever you are, just get comfortable. Sit back in your chair. You may be lying down in repose, whichever way it makes you comfortable. If you're in a chair, just uncross your feet and your hands and let your hands rest on your lap in an upward facing position. Just notice how the chair or the floor or wherever you're lying, if you're not sitting straight up, how it fully supports your body. Just notice as the more attention you give to that contact between your body and the chair, how you become more and more aware of that full support that you're receiving. Together, let's take a deep breath in and just slowly release that breath. And with that breath, you release all the hurries and the busyness of the morning. And just allow it all to fall away. Keeping your attention on your breath. Notice how it enters and leaves the body. Incoming breath is energizing, while outgoing breath relaxes. In meditation, we become restful as with sleep, while our mind is still alert and the breath is taking us into that state. Just breathing in your own rhythm. Notice the subtleties of the energy shifting through your body, energizing the alertness and releasing into restfulness. We quiet our minds. We let go. We just become perfectly present to this moment and this time. We may notice sounds around us. We just accept the sounds. Whatever's in our environment, become one with it. Emotions may arise, restless feelings. Just allow it. Just notice. And as the thoughts continue to drift in, just simply allow them to also drift on by. In this moment, simply repose in yourself. Still and aware as we move into a time of silence. It is in this stillness that we allow ourselves to know that connection with the absolute good, with the love that we are in this world. We allow it to move through every cell of our body. Energizing and enlivening and healing. And together, let's take a deep breath in And relax that breath, just slowly releasing and allowing our attention to come back to the present moment. Alert, restful, energized, and enlivened. For this opportunity to connect with that divinity within, to give it a moment to express as us and through us. We simply say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. So the title of my talk today changed about, I don't know how many times, but this is what it was the last time I made a revision. Commit to change. You know, we've been talking the last few weeks about joy and contentment, and been talking about the fact that people want to go back to normal, and really we're never going back, we're going forward. We'll have a new normal, whatever that might be. And with the happenings of the last couple of weeks, it's not just a new normal in the time of COVID, but it's a new normal in a new level of awareness of who we are in this world, regardless of our skin color, regardless of our belief system, regardless of our orientations. We have to commit to change. We have to. We can't stay stuck in the way things used to be. That makes us ill, that holds us back, that limits our options. So we have to commit to change. We don't have to commit to someone else's version of change. We only have to commit to being open to the evolving truth that is alive within us, each one of us individually. I'm not telling you how to change. I'm just saying commit to being open. You know very well, you never are not changing. You're never just the same old, same old, same old all the time. You have new awarenesses, you have new experiences, and things evolve. From Psalms 34 and 5, it says, sing praises to the Lord, O his saints, and give thanks to his holy name, for his anger is but for a moment, and his favor is for a lifetime. And I shared this second verse, verse 5 with you a few weeks ago. Weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. Weeping is definitely happening right now. We're going through immense change. Individually, collectively, culturally, things are changing. And there are people out on the streets in every city, in every country around the world, making this happen, raising a light. Yes, there were incidences, and we honor George Floyd for the giving his life to be one more moment of igniting awareness so that we can change. But people are out there holding truth. Even here in Kerrville, I don't know if you went by the courthouse or the police station anytime this week, but there were people out there. They were happy and joyful and just wanting to share their beliefs, what they know to be true, with all of us, to bring our awareness, to raise it to a new level. From the daily word that Patsy just shared, it says, joy may come quietly as the peaceful assurance of God's presence wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. My awareness of joy brings a glow to even the most ordinary day. We've seen a lot of people over the past couple of weeks demonstrating in frustration, and there have also been people who have been communicating from a joyful place, not joyful about the incidents, but joyful about the awareness. Awareness can bring joy, and joy can bring awareness. It's inseparable. last week I showed this little diagram that I put together because we're talking about thoughts and feelings equal emotions. When you have a thought, your feeling is energy. I talked about Dr. Joe Dispenza saying thoughts are electric and feelings are magnetic. So when you choose the feeling that you want to apply to the thoughts that you're having, you produce the emotion. And so what emotion is being evoked from you is going out into the world. So when you have a thought about the protest or things that are happening, you can talk about it from a standpoint of criticism or judgment or anger or embarrassment or whatever those feelings come, but you can also catch yourself in that moment and you can choose a different feeling. You can say, you know what, I'm going to be hopeful. I'm going to look at what's happening as hope and an expression of love. And I'm going to have compassion for the people whose lives are deeply affected by the misguided thoughts that permeate our society. And I'm going to put out into the world emotions that are helpful and supportive and creative in a positive way. We've been talking about negativity bias and that affects our joy, because the negativity bias refers to that mind's innate tendency to give more weight to the negative. And research has shown that we tend to remember and focus on our negative experiences more so than our positive ones. So that's what we could do right now, because the news really wants to show the violence and the looting. But if you look at percentage, and I saw a little bit of, I think it was CBS Sunday Morning, where they said, yes, there were fists raised, but not in violence. Yes, there were people shouting, but they were shouting love. There's so much that the news, you have to be careful about how you allow the news to affect your day to day, because the news makers, the people who produce news programs, know this negativity bias. They know that it sucks your mind in whenever you're feeling that there's a threat. So they focus more on the negativity of it all. We've had that for the last several months about the whole COVID-19. Yes, it is a virus that we all have to be aware of, and there are ways to mitigate it, and we've been educating ourselves. There are things that we need to know about ourselves individually and collectively in this moment that affects the whole Black Lives Matters movement. But it's not a new situation in humankind. We have been pushed to the point of awakening over and over and over. And these negativity biases they don't always come in from the news media or something outside yourself. Often they come in from your experiences. If you were bullied by, some redheaded boy in third grade, you might have a bias against redheaded people that you don't even know is there. If a dog bit you when you were a kid, you might, as an adult, really not like dogs. Now, personally, I can't relate to that. I don't understand people who don't like dogs, but I was never bitten by one either. Those things can happen in our lifetime, and they're in our subconscious mind. We don't even know exactly why. If we learn why and we can put that together, we can do something about it. And, as much fun as a slide is, if you fell and hurt your knee and you thought you might die for a second, you might not ever do anything else adventurous or fun like go down a slide, and you just limit yourself. And those are simple examples, but they help you to understand how this happens. So biases are a prejudice in favor of or against one thing, a person, a group, compared with anything else, with another, usually in a way that's considered to be unfair, because all dogs being afraid of all dogs is not really fair to yourself, because you'll never have another relationship with a dog. Having that bias holds you back. Biases may also be held by an individual, group, or an institution. And in this case, what's come to light in our world is that many police departments have an institutional bias. It could be negative or positive. I know that those of us who are Caucasian have benefited many times in our lives, whether you're aware of it or not, by a positive bias because we have fair skin. That's nothing to be ashamed of, but it is something to be aware of, because it's true, it's a fact, and it happens all the time. So there's both conscious and unconscious bias that happens. Conscious bias are those things that we're aware of. I don't like someone who does this or does that or whatever. You're aware of your biases. But as I mentioned, the unconscious bias, they're also called implicit biases. They're biases that are not limited necessarily to ethnicity and race, though racial bias and discrimination are well documented. Biases may exist towards a whole social group. You may not like rich people because some rich kid stole your sandwiches when you were in 3rd grade, or you might have some other bias. The whole women's suffragette movement was to get us beyond gender bias. And look how far we've come. One's age, gender identity, physical abilities, religion, sexual orientation, weight, and many other characteristics are subject to bias. I mean, for myself, when this gender bias little graphic here, when I was going to college 40 or something years ago, I was expected to become a teacher or a nurse. That was a very clear gender bias. And whenever I did go to college and I started studying business, my grandmother, who was a teacher, and her 2 daughters were teachers, constantly asked me, "What are you going to teach?" And I'm not studying teaching, I'm studying business. And she said, "Oh, you're going to teach business." So in her mind, there was only this one way for me to finish college and be out in the world. But luckily, those things have changed over time, and I was able to have a successful business career. Unconscious bias are social stereotypes about certain groups of people that individuals from outside their own conscious awareness. Everyone holds unconscious beliefs about various social and identity groups, and these biases stem from one's tendency to organize social worlds by categories. So we tend to say us and them. I'm these people and those are those people. But we have to get beyond the us and them. We have to get to the point where we know we are all one and we are all love. You don't have to agree with everybody's choices and decisions. It's none of your business what they do. Your business is to love. That's it. That's your business. Your business is to love yourself, love God, that absolute good we know in the world, and love your neighbor as yourself. Bias extends to diversity and inclusivity as well. Unconscious bias is far more prevalent than conscious bias or prejudice, and often incompatible with your conscious beliefs. So you could have unconscious bias operating underneath. You know how on your computer there's an operating system in the background? You may be using an application up front. So your application up front might be that, hey, I'm a part of unity. I have a belief in oneness. I have this belief. My values are oneness and equality and love for all. But in that back operating system, there could be some things that you don't even remember were taught to you as a child, that you've experienced or whatever. And certain scenarios can activate unconscious attitudes and beliefs and bring those to your behaviors still without your conscious awareness. For example, biases may be more prevalent when you're distracted and multitasking or under time pressure. Have you ever found yourself to be under pressure and to snap at someone or to make some kind of off-color remark or to speak to someone in a certain way or be dismissive of someone? And if you were in your conscious operating mode in that application up front, you would never do that. You know that you are loved, but you haven't gotten that shift to that lower level of your subconscious, which takes time. It takes time to reprogram ourselves. But this is not just an American issue. This is not just something that we're dealing with. Just like COVID, it is worldwide. And you've seen people all over the world protesting. Racism, bias, stereotyping is prevalent in all cultures. Even in some cultures, they call it a caste system. It's definitely the us and them idea. But as members of Unity or participants or part of the Unity community, we have Jesus as our way shower. And thousands of years ago, Jesus broke all the rules. He touched lepers in order to heal them. He sat and gave compassion to a Samaritan woman. Not only was she a Samaritan from the wrong group, but she was a woman. She was from the wrong gender. And he did things that were unorthodox, like washing the feet of all of his disciples. He went beyond what the constructs of his societal upbringing were as an Orthodox Jewish boy, and he grew into a conscious human being. Just as our mission statement, we claim our intention, our mission, our desire is to live consciously, celebrating the divine potential in all. We have to make those choices right now. We have to live into our mission and vision statement. Now, I don't want you to think I'm asking you to get out on the street and hold a sign or protest, or even go on Facebook and make, statements or claims or challenge anyone. I just want you to be open-minded to use a couple of tools that I've found. Harvard University has a project called Project Implicit, and it's to help us each as individuals and collectively, because they are data collecting as they're doing these bias testings, but you can go online and you can do bias testing to identify for yourself. I know you're sitting there thinking, I don't have biases. I'm not prejudiced towards anyone. But you would be shocked if you would give yourself an opportunity to do this. And also the Ohio State University, the Kerrville Institute for the Study of Race and Ethnicity, have a bias cleanse program. So you can do a 7-day cleanse once you go and identify where you have these challenges in your implicit bias. And it's not your fault. It's not to say, oh, I'm a bad person. Look at me. I have these biases I've been carrying around. It's to say, I want to be more fully my own divine potential. I want to live like Jesus from that consciousness of absolute love. And take it upon yourself, especially if you're still sequestering at home and you're isolating. Take the 7-day bias cleanse. Do it for yourself. It's not for everyone else. It's for yourself. But this is what we know. There is the ripple effect, right? So if I cleanse my biases, if I do my part to put love into the world, if I identify and release my biases, then I'm helping to heal the entire world. You see in this picture a variety of people from different backgrounds. Someone who chooses to to turn her hair green, a guy who chooses to wear longer hair, a woman who wants to be natural with her curls. These people don't care about appearances. And if you're looking at them right now and you have any feelings other than compassion, other than concern, other than absolute love, maybe there's something in there that you can dig around to and find out. I like the sun. It says, if you're neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Again, I am not saying get out there in the middle of all the protest. That's not my comfort zone either. I don't even want to go to a crowded mall. But if we really intend to end racism and reform our systems, all of our systems, the system that we have control over and we have the greatest influence over right now is our own system, our own home, our own house, the one we live in every single day, known as our own mind, body, and spirit. And we can take this challenge and we can do this individually and collectively. So this week, your weekly practice is to look inside, not look inside with judgment, criticism. It's just look inside with compassion for yourself. Be still and open your heart and be willing to examine your biases. Cleanse and release yourself from the burden and the contraction and the restriction of those unspoken biases, those things in your life, those thoughts, those patterns of behavior, those ways of being that hold you back. Cleanse and release. Thank you. Namaste. I love you. And now we will have more music by our amazing guest artist, Glenn Rethel. I really enjoyed his song Before Meditation. And here's how you can hear more of his music. He has a website, glennrethel.com, a YouTube channel, and a Facebook page. So you can get lots of Glenn. Take it on, Glenn.
Thanks, Rev. Please do visit my website, and I have, if you're interested in finding some live music on a Friday evening, I also play live stream concerts on Fridays. That's 6 p.m. my time and 5 p.m. your time, and the links are on my website. So I'm going to play a song that I co-wrote with my dear friend Tom Kimmel, who you heard at the very beginning, and Sue Riley, another fine singer-songwriter you've all heard of probably from Empower Music and Arts. When I'm standing in the shadow and I can't see the light, when I'm waiting at the crossroad, can't tell wrong from right, I think about your stories, I think about your life, I think of what you told me, and I know I gotta try. That's the thing about everyday heroes. Everyday heroes help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday heroes. Everyday heroes. You are an everyday hero to me. Everybody has a worry and it gets in the way. But if they're gonna stop dreaming, what a steep price to pay. But we can take a look around us. Everywhere we go, somebody's gonna remind us, and there's someone we know. I'm talking about everyday heroes. Everyday heroes help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday heroes. Everyday heroes. You are an everyday hero to me. I hear what you're saying, I know what you mean. Heaven knows it ain't easy
just listen to me. Everyday heroes, everyday heroes, help us discover that we all can be somebody's everyday heroes, everyday heroes. You are an everyday hero to me. Yes, you are an everyday hero to me.
That was a perfect song. Thank you so much, Glenn. That was just
Thank you.
absolutely perfect.
Would you like to hear another one?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Bonus track.
Yeah.
Thanks again for being all together today. You have a very beautiful congregation, a beautiful church, and a wonderful minister. And I understand you have some excellent tech support, so it's a really nice thing. I'm playing a couple of new songs for you today, and this one is brand new. It was just written last weekend, and it's called "The Missing Piece." And I'm telling you that because the word "piece" is spelled P-E-A-C-E, so it's a little bit different. When you want to make a puzzle, Mama told me just begin with the corners and the edges, then work your way in to the center till you finish filling all the empty spaces to reveal the hidden faces. As the picture starts forming, pay attention, she'd say, to the colors and the patterns. They will show you the way to complete your creation. Use the cover as a guide, but it's done when you decide. And it's a lot like life, looking for wholeness here when everything falls apart and the picture is not clear. What if I rest in that space, putting my mind at ease? Could I be the missing piece? I might never be as perfect as a picture, I confess, but I'm proud to sign my name to this beautiful mess. My own colorful arrangement fits together like a glove in the image of love. And as I look around me, everywhere I see the beauty and the brokenness of our humanity. What is framed in fragile edges is possibility. Mama's wisdom comes to me. When you make your puzzle, just begin with the edges and work your way in. And it's a lot like life, looking for wholeness here when everything falls apart and the picture is not clear. What if I rest in that space, putting my mind at ease? Could I be the missing piece? And it's a lot like life, looking for wholeness here when everything falls apart and the picture is not clear. What if I rest in that space, putting my mind at ease? I could be the missing piece, the missing piece.
Thank you so much. That was so perfect.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you being with us this week. And we'll have a little virtual greeting time at the end so everybody will get to tell you personally how much they loved your music.
Oh, thank you.
So briefly, I just want to say that this is our time in the service where we always just express our gratitude for all the giving that you've continued to do, even though we're not able to come together face to face. You've continued to offer your tithes and offerings online or mailing it in or dropping it by. And it just means everything to us because we know we will be back together face-to-face as soon as it's prudent to do so. And your support is for this community is just invaluable. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Our offertory blessing is, as always, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I send it forth with my blessings and my love. So we'll conclude today with, as we do, with the prayer for protection by James Dillett Freeman. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. So we'll see you next week, and you can always share the link for the Zoom or let people know that we're on Facebook. And now we'll open up all the lines for our community greeting time. Mandy, if you'll unmute everyone, switch us to gallery view.
Yeah.
So we can say hello. Hi, Danny. Hi, Alan and Paul and
Beverly.
Hetty.
Mandy.
Good morning, or I guess afternoon now.
Hey, Mark and Gayleen.
Bye.
Patsy.
So didn't you guys just love Glenn? What a perfect compliment to the
Yes,
topic.
great job, Glenn. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So great to be here and meet some new friends.
Absolutely. Thanks for being with us.
Pleasure.
Hello,
All right.
Eddie.
Well, have a wonderful week, everyone. Anybody have anything to share while we're together?
You too.
All right. Namaste. I love you.
Birthday.
Yay.
Namaste.